What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth. It's Tuesday morning again, which means it's time for me to show you guys another section of my collection. Let's get it. Alright, this week we are focusing on row 1, section 7, which is this guy right here. I'll get them pulled and we'll see what we got. I hope everybody out there is doing well and staying safe. I'm going to jump right into this. Alright, first up we have Blair Witch. This was, I don't think it really was so much of a remake as it was a reimagining, sort of like the Evil Dead remake or reimagining was. This is a very, very different movie than the original movie was. I thought this was really well made. I thought it was definitely a better made movie than the original, but I'm still a fan of the original, so my heart is with the original. Great movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this, but I still like the original more. A lot of people think I'm crazy for that, probably. Alright, next up we have the remake of The Blob. This was also really fun. I enjoyed The Blob. I don't know that I ever saw the original Blob, to be totally honest with you. I may have when I was much younger. I watched this a couple years ago. I thought this was pretty good. Alright, next up we have a 4-movie set called Bloodbath. Your boy can't see. Alright, so let's see what's in here. Oh, there's the cover. Anyway. Bloodbath. Devil's Nightmare, Pieces, Kill Baby Kill, Kiss Me Kill Me. I think the only one of these that I have seen was Pieces. It's been a long time since I've seen Pieces, and I think that's coming again. I've been seeing things online about Pieces lately. Kind of has me want to go back and get that, or go back and watch that again. I have that movie individually as well. These used to be at, I used to pick these up at Best Buy, these 4-movie sets. I have a few of them. I don't have a lot of them, but I definitely have a few. I don't even know that I've ever even opened this box, to be totally honest with you. I watched Pieces on the individual DVD that I have. I don't think that I watched it in this. But yeah, I don't remember this being very expensive either. Probably like $6.99 or something like that. Alright, next up is Blood Cult. This one, I believe I picked up at a horror con a few years ago. Several years ago now. And it looks slightly familiar on the back to me, but I don't know that I've ever seen it. It's very long on the back. I don't want to read all that to you guys and bore you to death. But it looks pretty good. That doesn't mean anything, though. I've seen a lot of low-budget B movies that have really cool pictures on the back, and then you turn the movie on and it absolutely sucks. And I think that this was one of those. I'm pretty sure I watched this, but I don't really remember. Alright, next up is Blood Feast 2, All You Can Eat. This one I just had featured on the Top 20 for 2020 video that I did last week. This is a fun movie. If you haven't seen that video, I'll talk a little bit about this. This guy here is a caterer. He is killing people and he is putting their body parts into the food that he's serving at his parties. This was really fun, very cool. It's just a lot of fun. If you can find this thing, you should check it out. It's a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. It's definitely not what I would call horror, but it was good. Alright, next up I have The Bone Collector. This is really good. This kind of teeters on that line of drama and horror for me. They're trying to track a serial killer, and Denzel, I believe, if I remember correctly, I think he's paralyzed in this movie. He's laying in bed. He's either paralyzed or he's severely injured. Don't really remember, but I know I watched this movie a while ago, quite a while ago. I'm trying to see back here. Doesn't matter. Denzel Washington's in this movie, which tells you that it's probably pretty darn good. So check out The Bone Collector. Really good flick. Next up is The Boogeyman. I don't remember this one being particularly good either. I think this came out around the Saw movie. The first Saw, possibly. This is the scariest movie ever. Well, that is completely untrue, because it certainly is not. Let's see. Every culture has one, the horrible monster fueling young children's nightmares. But for Tim, the boogeyman still lives in his memories as a creature that devoured his father 16 years earlier. Is the boogeyman real, or did Tim make him up to explain why his father abandoned him? The answer lies hidden behind every dark corner and half-open closet of his childhood home. A place he must return to and face the chilling unanswered question, does the boogeyman really exist? I remember this movie being okay, but it definitely is not the scariest movie ever. That's ridiculous. It takes a lot of balls to write something out on a movie of that caliber. This one is called Boogeymen. This is just pretty much a clip movie, compilation thing. Just shows a ton of different stuff. The movies listed on the back are Pinhead, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, or I should say the characters on the back. Pinhead, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Ghostface, Chucky, Candyman, Leprechaun, Simon from The Ugly. Don't even know what that is. Wishmaster, Camilla, Fisherman, The Dentist, The Tall Man, Blade, Norman Bates, Jason Voorhees, and Michael Myers. So it's pretty cool. It's listed back here as being the greatest hits of horror. I watched this a couple times when this came out. It was pretty neat. Alright, here's another one. Borderline Cult. I've never seen this movie. I bought this in a pawn shop in North Carolina several years ago. After 3 ruthless serial killers team up on the Mexican border town of Juarez, hundreds of women are abducted, tortured, and murdered in this grisly new thriller from famed horror master Uli Lomel. I know I've never watched this movie. I'm positive I've never watched it. But now reading the back, I'm actually interested. So maybe I'll check that one out soon too. I gotta just start pulling these movies and watching them. And not worry about doing a review and stuff. Just sit down and start plowing through some of these movies. Alright, here is one called, Stephen Dorff's in it, called Botched. This is another one of those movies that I bought at the video store when it was going out of business. Probably got this for like $1. The price isn't listed on here. The price actually right here was $2.50. So that means I believe I got this for $1.25. Alright. Nah, I don't feel like reading it. Whatever. Botched. Next up is The Boy. I thought this was alright. This has got the chick from Walking Dead in it, Lauren Cohen. She's actually from Cherry Hill, New Jersey original. She speaks with a British accent now because of where she's been living the last several years. But she is actually from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, so she's sort of a hometown girl. I was just in Cherry Hill a couple months ago. This is about a kid living in the wall. He's not a kid anymore, though. He's actually a young adult living in the wall, and this kid is supposed to represent who he was when he was a little boy. This movie was okay. I don't think it warranted the sequel that came out last year, or I don't know if that was earlier this year, if it was late last year. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard mixed reviews on that. I thought this was pretty decent. I think I've seen this twice. Not a bad movie at all. For whatever reason, that one freaked my son out. He didn't want to watch it. I think it's the whole doll thing. Here's one called Brainiac. I know that I have not watched this film either. From Brain Damage Films. Let's see. Brain chemistry research has produced a drug, Nirvana, that can wipe out addiction and mental illness by stimulating pleasure centers in the brain and flooding the brain with endorphins. Cymax Labs is about to release Nirvana when they discovered a major side effect that causes drastic genetic changes, turning dormant genes to produce Brainiac. Turning dormant genes on to produce Brainiac. That just reads weird. A horrifying freak of nature with a taste for brains. That would be a zombie, not a Brainiac. So silly. People trying to reinvent the wheel, it's just frustrating. It's up to Dr. Sunday Morgan to stop this menace from sucking the brains from any more innocent people, but can Dr. Morgan survive Brainiac's insatiable appetite? Brainiac is a fun-filled thrill ride. I don't even remember where or when I bought this movie, to be honest with you. This looks like it definitely may be a HorrorCon pickup for like $5 someplace. Yeah, I don't know. Seems kind of funky to me. I definitely haven't watched it. He actually reminds me sort of the things in The Descent is what he reminds me of to look at, other than the fact that he has eyes. I know the things in The Descent are blind, but that is sort of what he looks like. And I think this may have been out before The Descent. I think this is pretty old. 2006. Don't remember the year The Descent came out. Alright, here's another one from Brain Damage Films called Branded. Probably runs along the same lines as the other one. It looks like it was made for about $20 with 30 different people in it. Very low budget. I know I've never seen it, and chances are I never will. Alright. This one is a Blu-ray set of The Breed and Day of the Dead, The Need to Feed. I don't remember where I picked this one up either, but it was probably somewhere cheap, like Kmart. 2 movies for probably like $4 or $5. I heard The Breed was pretty good. I saw the remake of Day of the Dead, and that movie was absolute dog shit. I hated it. So maybe I'll watch The Breed, but I don't know that I'll ever watch the other one. Next up is something I just received in my gift set or gift box from Mark of Horror. It's a set of 4 sci-fi movies, which are Breeders, Supernova, Retroactive, and Species: The Awakening. Just got that from Mark. Haven't even put it away yet, to be honest with you. I just stuck it on the shelf because it would have fallen on this shelf had I put it away. Can't wait to see some of those. Next up is Broken. Broken makes Saw look like a children's film. I have serious doubts about that. Let's see what this one says. It says, the first thing it says is not for the squeamish, which means I should probably pull this one and watch it right away. Based on a horrifying true story, Broken is a dark, vicious little movie that gets under your skin. When a woman is taken captive by a sadistic madman, she survives a series of gruesome tortures only to become his twisted slave. Unusual, cruel, captivating, and strangely memorable. I know I haven't seen it because I don't remember it, so it's whatever. Broken is a relentless... That tells you I didn't see it because I don't remember it, and it's strangely memorable. Broken is a relentlessly brutal film whose creepy yet realistic depravity takes modern horror movie to a whole new level. It is Dimension Extreme, and I know that I've liked several of those movies, so there's another one that I need to pull and watch. You know, it's awesome that I got this new job and I'm going to be off for like 5 months straight. So I bet you I'm going to be able to, and I bet you I actually will knock out a ton of horror movies in that period of time that I'm off. Alright, next up I got something called Brutal. It does have Jeffrey Combs in it. I have not watched it. It's amazing to look back at these things. I don't even remember where I got these movies. Excuse me, but there is Jeffrey Combs there. And there's Michael Berryman. So at least this has, somewhat of a decent horror movie cast in it. When the remains of several dismembered corpses are discovered, a sheriff and his beautiful young deputy begin a frantic search for the brutal murderer. The deputy uncovers a methodical pattern used by the killer, only to discover she's next on the list. So it sounds good. Jeffrey Combs and Michael Berryman are both in it. The third person that's listed as being in this movie is Sarah Thompson. Hostel meets Silence of the Lambs in the horrific murder mystery. Sounds like a decent movie. I should check that out. Alright, next up is something called Brutal Massacre. This I remember being pretty silly. I don't think I like this movie, to be totally honest with you. And I remember the reason I bought this movie is because of the people that are in it. Jeffrey O'Halloran actually caught my eye on there. There's Gunnar Hansen. Who else is on here? God, I can't even think of his name. The dude from American Werewolf in London. Ben Foray is in it. So there's a lot of well-known horror actors in this movie, but I honestly don't remember this movie being very good. I think I'm thinking that it was somebody that was either working in a movie theater or they were making a low-budget movie. I just don't remember that movie being very good. And I remember seeing that, like an article for that in either Fangoria or Rue Morgue, and I saw the picture of it, and I immediately wanted it because of who's in it, and then I was very disappointed. This movie, I can tell you right now, completely sucks. BTK, another one of those video store going out of business movies. This movie was absolutely terrible. It's about the real BTK killer. His name eludes me. I can't remember what that dude's name was. It was terrible. This movie was poorly made, poorly acted, poorly shot. It looks awful. I watched this movie probably about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago, just because I watched a documentary on the BTK killer, and I thought to myself, I think I have a movie about this down in my basement. So I did, and I pulled it up and I watched it, and this movie sucks. I know that I'm pretty sure Kane Hodder may have done a BTK movie that was far superior to this one. My God, my mind just went blank on me for a second there. So if you ever come across this movie, long story short, just keep going. All right, that's it. That's everything for the section of my collection this week. If you guys sorry, I'm stammering over my words. I just got up again. If you guys like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like the video and you've enjoyed my content up to this point, with the exception of this thing where I'm stammering and stuttering over my speech, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. Later, folks.